Have you seen this man? If you have, join the club, as many people have reportedly seen him as well. At this point, you're probably asking, who is that? To which my response is, I don't know. And on that note, no one really does. However, that doesn't change the fact that 2,000 people, maybe even more, have seen this man in their dreams. The only real problem, no one knows who he is, or what he wants. The first supposed official encounter happened in 2006. In New York, January 2006, the patient of a psychiatrist, whom we'll call Dr. Murphy out of convenience, drew a face of a man that had been constantly appearing in their dreams. According to her, this man had given her, the patient, advice several times about situations in her private life. The doctor asked her, "Are you sure you never met this man before?" She replied, "No, I swear to you I have never met, let alone seen this man in my entire life." Their session ended with the psychiatrist puzzled, but he had other work to do, so he left the drawing on his desk and was planning to come back to it later. The portrait stayed on Murphy's desk, pretty much forgotten. That was until another of his patients came in for a session and was shocked that Dr. Murphy had the picture of that man on his desk. According to the patient, the man has often visited him in his dreams, and like the previous patient before him, he too swore that he had never seen or met this man before. After some time, and after more of his patients told him they too have seen the man, Dr. Murphy decided to send the picture of the man to some of his colleagues that had patients with recurrent dreams. Within a matter of months, 4 more patients began to recognize the man as a frequent presence in their own dreams. Something that was even stranger was that all the patients who claimed to have recognized the man as the man in their dreams referred to him as this man. Since January 2006, at least 2,000 people have allegedly claimed to have witnessed this man in their dreams. Interestingly enough, the people who reported seeing this man are quite diverse, most of them being in different cities all over the world. This includes places such as Los Angeles, Berlin, Sao Paulo, Tehran, Beijing, Rome, Barcelona, Stockholm, Paris, New Delhi, Moscow, etc. As of today, there really is no correlation or common trait amongst the people who have dreamt this man. Even creepier yet, no living man has ever been recognized as resembling this man in the portrait. Many people even shared some of their dreams about this man. The following are a few dreams people have had about this man. None have any names, and are anonymous. I have had this recurring dream for some years now. A tall, dark man shows me a picture and asks me if I can recognize my father in it. The man in the picture is this man. I have never seen him before, and he looks nothing like my father. Nevertheless, I inexplicably answer that I do recognize my father. At this point, I usually wake up, feeling very peaceful. Other times, the dream continues. I am standing before my father's grave. I place some flowers on the ground, and I realize that the photograph on the tombstone is missing. I fell in love with him from the very first time I saw him in my dream. Even though, if I think about it, I must admit, he's really ugly. And yet, each and every time, he sweeps me off my feet with his romantic gestures and sweet words. He buys me flowers, jewelry, he takes me out to dinner, or to the beach to watch the sunset. I have always had this dream of flying in the sky, over my city, and observing my friends from up there. Since I moved to another house, I started meeting this man while flying. Not every single time that I have this dream about flying, but often enough. He flies too, but he never speaks. The first time I had a dream about this man, I was having a hard time at work. I had a dream about getting lost in a huge and deserted shopping mall. Suddenly, this man appeared, and I started running away from him. He chased after me for what seemed like an hour, until I found myself against the wall in a kids area in the supermarket. At this point, he smiled at me, and he showed me the way out towards the cash desk, and I woke up. Ever since that night, this man has appeared in all of my dreams, and he always gives me directions to get out of this dream and wake up. It seems many people genuinely believe this man to be real, but a question still stands. Why are so many people seeing this man in their dreams? Well, there isn't a solid reason why, but there are several theories explaining why thousands of people are seeing this man. The first is the archetype theory. According to the psychoanalytic theory, this man is a generic archetypal image in the collective unconscious, a term coined by Carl Jung which refers to structures of the unconscious mind which are shared among the beings of the same species. In other words, this image is genetically coded into our brains, hence why we don't recognize this man from real life, but why so many people have seen him. Moreover, the theory continues to explain that we see this man in times of hardship, mainly hardship in the forms of emotional development, dramatic changes in our lives, or stressful circumstances. So essentially, this man isn't necessarily real in this theory, but rather our own self giving us a pep talk, but we are using the image of this man to tell us what to do. The second theory is the religious theory. According to this theory, this man is the image of God, the Creator. In other words, this is a form God takes to tell people how to better themselves. Moreover, this would fit the Christian/Catholic belief that God is a kind entity that just wants to help, and this is one way he could without directly intervening. The third theory, which is by far the most interesting to me, is the dream surfer theory. The theory is interesting in itself, but has the lowest scientific credibility, but I'm getting ahead of myself. According to this theory, this man is in fact a real person. However, he seems to have a very specific set of skills. He can enter people's dreams by means of specific psychological skills. Some believe that this man looks exactly like the picture, while others believe that he looks different in real life, and only looks different in our dreams because we don't actually know what he looks like. Some people seem to believe that behind this man, there is a major organization developing the next evolution in humans to help spy on other people around the world, similar to Eleven in Season 1 of Stranger Things. The last theory is actually the most believable of the four, that being the dream imitation theory. This is a social psychological theory that proceeds to claim that the phenomenon was real at first, and would point to claim that the story of Dr. Murphy and his first patient is real. However, when people began to get exposed to the image, more people began seeing this man in their dreams. The theory itself is best summed up by the actual explanation on thisman.org. Basically, when people are exposed to the phenomenon, they become so deeply impressed that they start seeing this man in their dreams. This theory honestly makes the most sense because a lot of people are surprisingly still claiming to see this man in their dreams today. So now that we're coming to an abrupt end, what do I think? Well, I'm in accordance with the last theory. Logically, it makes the most sense. The human mind already takes situations from real life and imposes them on your dreams. Hence why sometimes you dream of being in school, or about the guy or girl you really like. So who's to say that our minds wouldn't take the image of this man and place it in our dreams? It's honestly more believable than the dream surfer theory, although I would really love that theory to be true. Moreover, I think that theory is true because I have dreamt of this man. I know a lot of people would be quick to call it bull, but let me explain. I only started dreaming about this man after I heard and watched the video on this man before, which is what leads me to believe that the dream imitation theory is actually correct. Even still, it is all a matter of opinion, so you are free to believe whatever you want. So with that out of the way, let me leave you with this little factoid. Did you know, whatever you actually see with your eyes is not real? It is a scary thought for sure, but it is true. When light falls on your retinas, it creates images in two-dimensional form, and your brain has to guess and convert that image into a three-dimensional image. In a way, your whole life is nothing more than an illusion conjured up by your brain.